You've got a beautiful speaking voice when it works.
You ever see girls at the beach or somewhere trying on swimsuits, and they get to the bikini? Their eyes light up. They think it's fantastic. Well, look, obviously, there's an allure there. There's an appeal. And we all think it's because the bikini shows off a lot of skin. I heard a saying about the bikini. Well, it really wasn't about the bikini, but the bikini was the metaphor. Why is the bikini so sexy? What it conceals is every bit as important as what it reveals. What's unseen is vitally important. It doesn't seem right. Wouldn't just, naked girls be much more exciting? No. I think most men would agree. Clothed women, strategically clothed women, va-va-va-voom. The concept of what is concealed being just as important, if not more important, to that which is revealed plays a huge part in Cobra Kai, and specifically episode 2. The first thing we see in the second episode, Back in Black, Johnny's car's getting a paint job. Kind of a metaphor for looking below the surface. Let's think about cars for just a second. Cars play a relatively prominent role in the franchise. Mr. Miyagi has not just one, but a number of these old cars. We're supposed to believe they're well maintained. Maybe they need a little bit of extra work, but he has an eye for detail. Washing, polishing, taking care of the outside. I think we get the impression he takes care of the inside, too. They're old cars. There's a tradition, old tradition, well-maintained, discipline. That's Mr. Miyagi. What else about cars? Well, Daniel got all these cars. He acquired them. He goes on to have his own LaRusso Auto Group. He's a car salesman. It's a business that people tend to have an impression that, well, shyster salesman. We know Daniel mentions his competition, Tom Cole, and he mentions, while he's confronting Tom Cole, he says to one of his customers, one of Tom Cole's customers, watch for the hidden fees. He likes to bury something in the contract. Words like that. Now, maybe he does. We think of Daniel as a fellow who's honorable. He's honorable in his competitions in karate. He shows us, and we have no reason not to believe him. He's the main character in the movies. He's a prominent and main character in Cobra Kai. He's honorable. He's a reputable guy. Now, Johnny loves his old car. It's a memory of his golden years, and it's seen better days, much like he has at the beginning of the series. It's seen a lot better years. Now, maybe he doesn't take great care of it because he doesn't have a lot of money, but he works as a handyman. He probably does what he can with the car. It does look like it needs to get cleaned up a little bit. He does a little bit of reckless driving. Disreputable, selfish youth crashed into his car. Johnny deals with Daniel. Daniel deals with him favorably, reasonably. Later on, when Louis goes and wrecks, or Louis and his friends wreck Johnny's car, trash it, wreck it, light it on fire. Johnny's got to go back to Daniel to confront him, and his wife, Daniel's wife, Amanda, says, let's deal with the vehicle. We can deal with that. And he gets him a new car. It's a new used car, but it's a new car. And it's Daniel's used car from his company. It's probably in decent shape. Well, there's a little frustration with dealing with Daniel. So he probably doesn't really like the idea he got a car from LaRusso. Once he's won the championship, second episode of season 2, we start right off, he gets the paint job. It tells something about his personality and his character. It's a layer on top. It's what he shows everybody else. It's not a lie. He's not a fraud. Johnny isn't the kind of guy who would be a liar. He might not come right out and tell the truth right away. He might have a hard time finding the right words, being able to say it the right way because of guilt. Yeah, that sounds like Johnny Lawrence. So his paint job isn't a lie. I know, I'm probably blowing this way out of proportion and looking way too deep into something that is only slightly symbolic, but it's there. Johnny's got a paint job on his car. He's got a paint job on his life. Well, he's trying to work it out. He's trying to put his best face forward. Well, now if we use that as our metaphor, again, sorry, this might be a little pretentious, but I think it goes somewhere. What can we say about John Kreese? Martin Kove does a great job as John Kreese. Kreese, he's come back. The first time we see him, Kreese looks kind of cool. He's got this jacket. It almost makes me think of a Nehru jacket, but it's got the open collar. It's got a cigar. He seems to represent something altogether. A successful older man, a man who's calm, cool, and in control. Well, later in that episode, we see him slightly more shabby. Not just shabby, but he looks like he's ready to walk out of Johnny's life, if that's what Johnny wants. Take a look at his face when Johnny gives him a chance.
Hold up.
He's willing to give Kreese a second chance. He wants a second chance. So he naturally gives a second chance. Those who want respect give respect. He wants to do it right with Cobra Kai, but he doesn't want interference from his old sensei.
Class, we have a visitor. This is Mr. Kreese. He's just an observer. Pretend like he's not even here.
Kreese starts by sucking that up. He takes it. He's laying in wait. His first opportunity he gets, what does he do?
I can't believe this pathetic pack of pussies competed in the All Valley, and let alone won. It's an absolute miracle. And who's responsible for that miracle? Johnny Lawrence, the best student in the history of Cobra Kai. My student.
You were Sensei?
You better believe it, kid. And I tell you, I've never trained a tougher student in my whole life.
He's not telling that to the students. He's telling Johnny Lawrence that. Facing somebody else, he's talking to Johnny Lawrence. Johnny told him how he wanted it to be. So Kreese plays to that. It's a bit of a paint job. He's hiding something underneath. Now, let's look at the looking underneath a little bit further. Daniel's trouble, all the way back in season 1, all of his trouble stems from the fact that he makes a lot of assumptions and he doesn't dig any deeper. If you'll excuse the analogy, as great of a car dealer as Daniel is, he's not looking underneath the hood. Please forgive me. But it's true. He has reason to assume some of the things he does about Johnny and certainly about Kreese. But he never looks too deep when it comes to Johnny Lawrence.
What's this? All part of your new Cobra Kai, Johnny?
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Right. I've seen plenty.
Johnny says you don't know what you're talking about, but that's the end of it. Daniel just gives him another insult, and then he's done with him. Daniel goes to Cobra Kai to see Johnny Lawrence and ask him about his son, Robbie. Do you know that your ex-wife is out of town and Robbie's living alone? But he doesn't get to that part. He just walks away. And he's going to have Robbie stay at his house instead of saying, you may not know this, your ex-wife isn't exactly in the house right now. He's not giving him the option or asking him permission. Is it okay if Robbie stays with us? He doesn't do that. He just assumes. He's not looking, pardon me for saying it one more time, he's not looking under the hood. This is the theme going on in episode 2 and throughout the entirety of season 2 of Cobra Kai. There's a lot more to get to. Stay tuned. I'm going to do more. It's taking me a little bit longer to do these since I'm changing the format slightly. I'm sure I'll find something that works, and I'll find a pace that works, and I hope you'll be there. Until next time, thank you very much for tuning in. You take care.